Oh, thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. Obviously, the opening just 1 year ago of Perrotin Second Marché gallery, and the fact that such a relevant and influential contemporary art gallery worldwide decided to expand their business into the secondary market has generated a lot of interest in the art world. It is obvious that there are many elements that come into play in a decision like this, and many of these elements have surely a lot to do with new ways of understanding the art gallery world, with new players coming into the art market scene, perhaps with a necessity to reach new audiences, new clients. Perhaps also it is a strategic response to navigate today's fluctuating market. In order to find the hidden obvious behind this new project, I'm honored to be conducting this conversation with Tom David and Dylan, co-directors at the Perrotin Second Marché gallery in Paris. Tom David created the first platform to offer co-ownership purchase opportunities of artworks in 2010, whilst developing his expertise in the secondary market. He subsequently signed a part of the estate of Georges Mathieu, whose representation he has since entrusted to the Perrotin and Nemat contemporary galleries. Dylan began his career in 2010 at the Kamel Menou Gallery, of which he became the director until 2018. For the past decade, he has accompanied the development of private collections and worked on a large number of artistic and museum projects. In 2019, both Tom David and Dylan teamed up to manage artist estates, among others those of Georges Mathieu and Alain Jacquet, and have further grown their secondary market and art advising activities. You are basically like two mountaineers roped together, but as I mentioned earlier on, feel free to contradict each other. I would like to divide the conversation in four main blocks. I would like you to explain us about how it did all start. I would also like to talk about strategic identity, the gallery's identity. I would like to talk about market and clients. And I would like to talk also, which is, because I think it's something very important for you, artist states and working with artist states. So we have a lot of ground to cover, and so let's begin. So why don't you let us all know how did it all start, and also from your perspective and your first-hand knowledge, which were the most relevant elements that were taken into consideration that led to the decision of opening a secondary market gallery?
So if I may start, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you very much for receiving us. And so the whole ideas of creating a secondary market gallery into a primary market gallery as Perrotin Gallery was to cover a full experience for the client. Today we can see our collectors who are not only buying primary market, and we had such an amazing experience with this. We were with Emmanuel in Art Basel, and a very big secondary market galleries. I will not name the gallery, but we were speaking to him about general stuff. How are you? We came up with ideas, and he said to us, he cut the meeting and said to us like, okay, please guys, I have one of my biggest clients, the one who's giving me like such crazy income. Please, can we cut this and we can continue an hour after? And by mistake or whatever, we saw the client. And this client was a random client to the gallery, because we have such a price range that comes to 10, 20,000 euro up to 2-3 million. That's, of course, it's a very large price range, but also we can't cover the wishes of all our clients and all the clients of Emmanuel. So seeing this collector being such a huge one to this gallery and such a random one treated like anyone else into the gallery, it was pretty obvious for us that that kind of collectors need to be helped, and we need to provide them a full experience into the art market. So this was one of our wishes, first of all. And second of all, I think that because we are now doing not secondary market as some galleries are doing it, but we are trying also to curate some shows, bringing the secondary market with the primary market. We are trying to make like some dialogue between the artists. So we think that it's not something very far from the primary market. If you are treating it like this, it can be a real full experience for all the clients. And we had an exhibition, for an example, the one
Tout n'est qu'influence.
Tout n'est qu'influence. So everything is only influential stuff. So we took like 3 designers that we love. So it was Ettore Sotsas, it
Royer.
was Jean Royer, and Lalanne.
Sorry, and Lalanne.
And it was the purpose was to put into every floor of the gallery one designer and what kind of art was which art influenced this artist to do what they were doing.
Yeah.
And to be able to bring into a Parisian gallery, for an example, some wire works with a mobile of Calder, a red sumac, something very particular, with a Douanier Rousseau, with a Matisse, is something that you are not oftenly being able to see in Paris. And so this is what we are trying to do now. And it opens the mind of a lot of persons in Paris. And we have the chance to be working and to be partner with Emmanuel. So we are also doing this all around the world now. And we are working closely with the sellers of Emmanuel and trying to build collection for their clients from A to Z. So
the location issue I find very interesting. Dylan, I mean, Perrotin Gallery has 9 spaces in 7 cities around the globe. Why Paris and not New York, for example?
First of all, I would like to add something. Tom David explained you very well why we did it, but we wanted to did it differently, because as you may know, every big galleries around the world are making secondary market deals. Okay, even if they are representing artists and primary market artists, but they are doing it like in a very special room into the gallery, like in a hidden room or hidden space, you know. But when we decided to open this department, actually we didn't want a department. We wanted to have a dedicated space for the secondary market. And I think, and we are sure, that it's the first time a big gallery and a big name like that created a space and a 5-level galleries only for the secondary market, but with the same name. So it means that it's a signal for the market, for the collectors, that we can totally assume the fact that the secondary market be part of the primary market. And that's why we take the lead to open a gallery, a space. That's why I'm answering why Paris and New York. Mm-hmm. We decided Paris because we are from Paris, first of all. So it's a good reason for family and kids to stay in Paris. And also because Paris is moving a lot. I'm sure you read a lot of articles and you see how many galleries open new galleries in Paris. For example, a secondary market, very famous secondary market gallery like Perskarstedt opened recently a gallery, and many other galleries like that. So I think that the Parisian art scene is getting more and more dynamic, you know, and it's a very good strategy to open the first secondary market Perrotin in Paris, and Perrotin is a Parisian gallery at the beginning, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Would there be other secondary market galleries opened around the globe by Perrotin?
We are opening another one in Dubai next week.
Secondary market?
Secondary market and primary. Like we're gonna mix the exhibitions, we're going to mix the primary with the secondary market artworks. And of course, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, yes. So for example, Dubai, we opened the opening show will be next November, and we are making, in the same time, a Murakami solo show, first one in the UAE. So it's something very important. And in the same time, we are opening into the Dubai Gallery a blue chip secondary market show with artists that we are not representing. So now we try to do both because it works together. And we understand that the audience and collectors, now it's easy to understand for them that we can do both. We assume, we don't have to be hidden behind a wall to make the secondary market, and we can do something very intelligent and very great exhibition by the fact to assume the secondary markets.
And if I can add something else, we are always, or since I started this, so closely 13 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, we were always afraid of showing the secondary market works. Like, oh, this one gonna get burned. I saw it already like 10 times in the market, and everything that I'm sure most of you heard. And I think it's completely a nonsense when the artwork is good and the price is fair. And if you put the work into a great scene and into a great context, it's just an add value to the work and not something that you can say, oh, it was exhibited there or there. When there is museum shows for an artwork, you are always saying that's, oh, that's good, it was in a good museum, whatever, and stuff like this. So, there is also something very important. Galleries are the only free museum in the world. So, what best to exhibit secondary market work into a great curation, and if it doesn't sell, it's not because the artwork is not good. It's just because the client wasn't there, or the price perhaps was too high, or the context was not there. But it's not about the work, and I truly believe that there is no burn artworks. There is only artworks that doesn't fit the wishes of the client at a certain moment. But at the end, if the price is fair and the artwork is good, there is no point that the artwork will not sell. And now we are getting into a momentum where there is a lot of museum, a lot of private foundation, public foundation, who are opening every week around the world. So the A+ works are less and less available. So as soon as you have something interesting, A-level, there is no point that the work will not sell, and there is no point for you to not exhibit them and be proud of exhibit that kind of works.
And to answer a little bit more about your question about the location. Location is very important, but it's not the only thing. For example, at the gallery, as you said, we have several galleries around the world, and for the secondary market, we already work like worldwide connection between all the sellers from Perrotin Gallery, sellers from Asia Gallery, sellers from the US Gallery, sellers from the Middle East Gallery, and sellers from Europe Gallery. So we have, for the moment, one location and soon two locations, but it's already working like a full market, worldwide market. For example, works are coming to the Parisian gallery, secondary market, are coming from sellers from China, from Hong Kong, from Seoul, from Tokyo galleries. So you know what I mean? Like we are lucky enough to have already sellers all around the world, and it's a free market, an open market. We exhibit in Paris and in Dubai, but we don't especially need to have secondary market galleries everywhere because it's already worldwide business. So
all right.
It works like that.
You have already talked about it slightly, and I want to get into it more deeply, the identity issue, about the art gallery identity. Now, we all know that many secondary market galleries seem to have never had a problem to work on the primary market. I will put an example. Jan Courget, for example, did that strongly. As far as the primary market is concerned, contemporary art galleries are always asked to have a very clear identity and a very well-defined program. Art fair admissions committees are usually very strong on that, to the extent that not many contemporary art galleries can exhibit secondary market works in fairs. Now, do you appreciate that there is a certain degree of permeability nowadays? Do you perceive that there should be a less rigid and more fluid approach to gallery practices in the sense of feeling more comfortable working in the thresholds between the primary and the secondary market? And is Perrotin Second Marché a declaration of intentions in that direction? What do you think?
We have to. And we strongly believe with Tom and Emmanuel that when you put limits on something, it doesn't work. You know, we love not to have limits. That's the beginning and the purpose of the gallery. And for example, you have a proof of that. When Frieze is now doing, since years, Frieze Masters, and you can see that some galleries are doing both, have a booth in Frieze and have a booth in Frieze Masters. It's for that reason. More recently, Independent Art Fair in New York are now doing independent 20th century. And it will be more and more like that. Because why do we have, because I remember 10 years ago, for example, as you said, when you are working in a primary market galleries, it was very non-elegant.
Rude
To speak about secondary market. Don't speak about secondary market, it's only about money, it's only about making deals, you are not supporting artists, you know? It was all the kind of sentence like that. But I strongly believe that it's not true. You can make secondary market in a good way because, as Tom said, you can make great exhibition to offer to public and to collectors and to mix primary and secondary markets. So in terms of image, I think that it's better to mix both. And that's why we're doing it. And we try to do it in a good way. And I know that it will be one of the next questions, but we sorry, but we have to speak after about estates. Estate, it's a key point as well for the secondary market, primary market. It may be the link between the primary and the secondary market, the estate market.
But if I may, you can even speak about Ettore Sottsass.
Yeah.
So after only one exhibition that we made, the one that I was speaking before.
Yeah, 1 year ago.
A year ago, like in last January, we made an exhibition and there were like totem of Ettore Sottsass into the gallery. And after a few months of this, we saw the market growing up.
In auction,
like double, triple, 4 times the price that we were making. And we went because we wanted to buy some at Christie's, just in front of the gallery in Paris. And we asked to our friend there, because we are working closely with them, we said, I don't get it, like, why the estimation is like this, and how many lines do you have registered there? And he said to me, oh, you don't get it, guys. Like, since you did this, the market of Sottsass went up as crazy. So it's just the proof that a secondary market exhibition can make stuff change, because we put it this Ettore Sottsass close to Warhol, close to Wesselmann, close to
Calder.
No, even at the ground floor, like Alain Jacquet. We put it also
Jasper
Jones.
Yeah.
So they saw Ettore Sottsass in a different way that they were used to see it in a design gallery or even at the Centre Pompidou. It's crazy. So when you put that kind of artist and secondary market works into a good context, everybody is able to see how far it can go.
Let's talk then about the market and clients also. For quite some time, there's been a lot of deliberations about the fact that the art market should become more and more transparent, because transparency would generate confidence, and with confidence will come clients. But it is also true that in recent times we've seen many projects, from auction houses especially, that tend to enhance discretion, privacy, anonymity. Is Perrotin Second Marché a response to that? Is it a strategic reaction to auction houses' expansion into the private sales realm?
You know, first of all, we are working with them. And I never saw ourselves a competition with Christie's and Sotheby's and Philips and other auction houses. But we are transparent on the price everyone who can come to the gallery, who's coming to the gallery and ask for prices, nobody will have the answer like, oh, sorry, it's sold, or oh, sorry, not this one, or give me your mail, I'm going to send you the price. No, it's not like with us, it's not like this. And, you know, I think that auction houses did this a long time ago. We had the chance in Paris, especially, to open the gallery before Sotheby's opened his own space of
Private sale.
Private sales. Okay, but what the point? It's, do you know how many secondary market galleries there is? How many primary market there is? At the end of the day, there is only the artworks who are speaking for themselves. And for us, if you are able to source good secondary market artworks or good artists into the primary market, this will make the difference, nothing more. So I don't feel and I don't see all those auction houses being like a competition. Of course they are. We are all into the same market. But if they are better to find artworks, they will be better than us. If we are better, we will be better than them.
Is your main interest, is your
please.
main interest reaching new clients or finding good works of art? Would you agree, for example, with David Zwirner that says that consignment is the new prey?
That's, wait, please. Because we had a discussion a few weeks ago about that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yes. So, first of all, of course, consignment is the new prey when you are not enough confident or money-wise that you don't have enough money to buy the artworks. We are doing, honestly, kind of a 50-50 between consignment and to buy our own stock. Because I think that when you control the artwork and when you buy it, and when you are confident on what you are buying. First of all, I think it's a proof of trust from us to the client that we are able to put our money before them into the artwork, first of all. Second of all, when we are buying, you don't have like a pressure on, okay, you need to sell this in 3 months, in 6 months, and stuff like this. So, of course, consignment is amazing, and we are very thankful to our clients to give us, or clients or dealers, you know, but to give us the trust to put their artworks into the gallery, into a nice space, and trying the team, Dylan and I, to sell them. So, of course, consignment. But you know, it's not only consignment is a new prey, because you need to always think that when you are doing a consignment and when you are putting together a secondary market show, it's not like the primary market. Into the primary market, you have one studio, one show. When it's a solo show, it's easy. The shipping, the insurance, the curation, the scenography of the space. All of this is pretty. And I put Emmanuel will kill me, but I put this between this. It's more easier. Okay, it's easier for us. It's like 20 owners or 10 owners, 10 from our stock. The works are coming from all over the world. You need to insure them singly. You need to make sure that you have good shipping quotes to bring back the works to the owners if it's not sold, and stuff like that. So the money that you are putting together when you are doing consignment is a lot. So of course it's the new prey, but it's not too.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not
if
enough.
you can build a secondary market gallery only with consignment,
I don't believe in that. It's very hard.
very, very,
Very hard.
very hard. Because if you don't sell the show, it's not you are just losing your fixed cost. You are also losing all the insurance and who are costing us a lot, but a lot. And the shipping and the shipping quote now are pretty crazy. Okay, to ship an art, it's insane. What they are asking us, it's honestly insane. And we love and it's pretty our really the very good part of our gallery and the vision that we have, Dylan, Emmanuel, and I, is to always try to surprise the collectors and the visitors to the gallery. So one or every 2 exhibitions we break the gallery from scratch, and we are building walls. We are doing a lot of scenography with Cécile de Goss, who is the scenograph of pretty amazing museum around the world. So we are putting curving walls, we are painting gallery from all over, we are breaking walls, putting arch, putting grass on the floor, and stuff like this.
And you cannot do that only with consignment, because with consignment it depends, but you add your fees. You know, the consignment wants a price, okay, and you add your fees, like, I don't know, 10%, 15%. But at the end of the day, when you have a gallery space for secondary markets, you have team. You have to pay the rental cost. You have to pay, as exactly Sam said, we built the new scenography. So it's not enough. So it's good. It's a good addition to the business, of course, the consignment, but it's not enough. So the way we want to do it, I mean, if you are an art dealer with an office and not doing exhibitions, of course, it's amazing, but it's not enough. Yeah.
And I think that when a client comes to the gallery, so perhaps the client of Perrotin Gallery before us, or the client that we had before Emmanuel, before Perrotin, or the new ones who are just knocking the door and say to us, okay, I have this, can you buy it from me? If you don't make the study and the quotation of the work, and you are not able to buy it from them if they need money, you are losing clients, you are losing business. And now we are about to open a consignment page into the website to bring consignment and to try to have a constant flow and to be an answer to wishes from clients that we will never see in front of us. So, of course, consignment are amazing, but you need to do it with parsimony. I don't know how you say parsimony.
Well, the consignment issue, I suppose that sometimes it's also like a link between the primary and the secondary. I mean, being a contemporary art gallery mainly, do you think that having this secondary market side can enhance the client's trust in contemporary art? Sort of the contemporary art clients will see in the secondary market gallery like a second life for their collections, an exit for their collections, so that will enhance the trust in the firm.
You know, there is something that I didn't knew before being partner with Emmanuel, is most of the exhibition that he is doing all around the world are sold out, and because now the market is so crazy with primary and young artists, and the primary market galleries are kind of, and they have to be protective with the artist, they are making sign 5 years non-resale agreement or 5-year right of refusal or whatever, okay? So they are trying to protect their artists, because you have many examples of young artists that are 25, 30, just being degree on any art school, who are selling into the gallery at 20K, and the secondary market brings them at 300, 400K. This is kind of a nonsense, because when you are putting this work at 400K and you think that you can buy a Georges Mathieu, an Andy Warhol painting, whatever, a Chagall on paper, some really modern and post-war, and I don't see the point of buying artworks at 500K when the painting is still fresh. You know what I mean? I think for me it's a nonsense, because this is my culture and this is what I love in my market. Is I'm mostly, when I'm buying for myself, I'm buying the history, I'm buying an experience, I'm buying the fact that this guy was the first to do it when he painted it. So, of course, we are an answer to this, but you need to think about the contemporary art market as something. And just to get back to something, Emmanuel always did the secondary market for his own artists. This is something that is very important to say because we are, Dylan and I, into the gallery for all the artists instead of the artists of the program of Emmanuel for the secondary market. He is doing very well with the secondary market of his own artists because he is protecting them. So when you are signing the 5 years non-refusal or whatever, if you want to just give the work back, they will take it. He's very conscious and he have a real consciousness on all the life of the artworks of his artists, you know. So I think we are not an answer to this. He already answered to it before us. So I will not take the credit for this.
Perhaps one day you could come across someone who would say, yeah, Perrotin Second Marché is a clear example of a contemporary art gallery's need to lower risks and increase resources. Would you agree to that?
I will give him the key of the gallery.
Exactly. All right. Okay.
Pretty easy to answer. You are lowering the risk when you are not spending money. When I'm spending 100K to rebuild a building just to put the artworks in a perfect way, to have a curation, to have something that blow the mind of the client, I cannot say. And when you are buying the artworks, when you are in the primary market gallery, you have consignment from your artist. We are buying the works. We have consignment from the... It's exactly what we said before. The costs are a lot. It's not something that you just... Oh, you have a phone call, you are at the coffee, and okay, I want to sell my Warhol, and you are calling someone else. Okay, you want a Warhol? Yes, buy it. This is in your dream. This is coming 1, 2, 3 times a year. But you need to put shows together, you need to spend the money, you need to involve yourself into this, and so
we have an entire team behind that, because it's not about we have to make all the research, we have to make all the authenticity, we have to make sure that the provenance is absolutely perfect. We have all of this. We need to check, double check, and triple check.
It's a label.
Yeah. So because you are buying secondary market at Perrotin Gallery, we have to be very careful about that. So that costs a lot of money as well, because we have a team behind that. So.
And we are giving, like, when a client is asking for us to buy an artwork, we are not just selling in the artwork. We are also coming with auction research, primary market, private market research, prices, full provenance check. So, for an example, if we have a Kissaring, we will call the Tony Chaffrey, etc., etc., etc. So, of course, this costs a lot.
And for example, not
market analysis,
not to sell, but to buy an artwork from a collectors. We're making files like that to explain him and to be totally transparent that the price is that, and to justify why the price is that. It's not. So of course, we make an analysis between for the art price or Artnet and the secondary market research about auction and prices, but we are also putting in these files for the clients comps in private deals. For example, we put comps that this was at Sotheby's private sale at that price. This was on the booth of my colleague in Art Basel at that price. So he knows, or she knows, very well, you know, the market. And we have to be totally transparent about that. Even when we make offer to buy an artwork, not to sell. So
because we can be rude if we are lowering the prices and
of course
look like robbers, you know. So yes,
yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, risks and uncertainties are shared between the primary market and the secondary market.
Absolutely,
that's for sure. Another thing, some secondary market dealers and sometimes also some private collectors themselves, sometimes even through auction houses, have often practiced flipping. We have talked about it earlier on with Julia and Farah. Now, this is a practice that has generally been a source of conflict, as you surely know. I mean, are you aware that because of your size and influence, that might generate certain uneasiness within the contemporary art community? Is it something that do you want to tackle?
As we said, we are not going to do the secondary market of the artist of Emmanuel. And we are respecting the 5 years non-resale agreement that clients may sign when they are buying, and we are always checking this. And this is what Dylan said. When we are checking provenance, and we know as a fact that the guy bought it a year ago to another gallery, but we know because we are into this market that they are all signing a contract on this, we will not put ourselves and the client into a conflict with another gallery, because we have a very, very, very good relationship with most of the galleries that we are working with.
Primary.
So primary. So Gagosian, Hauser and Wirth, Zwirner, and all of the place, all around the place. Because at the end of the day, when we are advising clients as a secondary market gallery and as advisors, as we are doing with Dylan, we are also giving the access, and we are also putting our trust in our clients, and the gallery is putting his trust into us to give the access. So we will not play this game, and loud and clear, this is not our game.
One question I wanted to ask you before, and I forgot. Do you see that there's a difference between clients in the secondary market and the primary market? You think so?
A lot.
Different, sorry, what?
Between
Different
the
type of client.
Yes, yes. For example, I give you a clear example. After the first lockdown, the gallery space in Paris, the secondary market space, was under renovation, and we decided to go to Dubai. Okay, and that's why now we have the idea to open in Dubai. And when we've been to Dubai, at one dinner, we meet a guy, and for example, you cannot believe how many artworks he bought and how powerful was the collection. And that guy, and it's crazy, huh? That guy never been in galleries. He only buy through auction houses, he only buy through dealers, but not primary market, because he wants to be, and he's not a dealer, he's a collector, but he wants to be totally free about his own collection. And he knows that if he buys some hot artist in primary market, he's gonna sign first refusal argument, etc. And for example, this guy, we bought some artwork from him, and he makes some consignment at the gallery, and maybe 25 or 30% of the first show of the gallery in Dubai was with this guy, coming from his collection, all the pieces. So it was very interesting. And no one knows this guy before at Perrotin Gallery, because he's only a secondary market collector.
Yes, from Baselit, Kiefer to...
It's crazy, you know, to meet people who are not coming to galleries to buy. Maybe he's coming to see and to visit shows, of course, because he loves art, but not to buy. So I think that, and more and more, we meet more and more guys like that and collectors. We already know that we meet new collectors because we clearly announce that we are working on the secondary market. So yes, it brings a new audience and new clients to the gallery, definitely.
And you have the opposite. You have the client who just want to buy in primary because they are saying like, why would I pay more something that I can have access to? And if I don't have the access, I will skip to another artist. So it's on the both way, you know. You have some who just want to be free and do whatever they want. The old style buying artist, because it used to not be like this. Since when we are signing 5 years on resale agreements?
Yeah.
Since when? 5 years, 10 years maximum?
Même pas.
Même pas.
Like it's only like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Yes, 5 years
it's
ago,
like that.
perhaps. So it's cutting some clients and bringing others. So
absolutely. Let's talk about artist states now, which is something that you're really very much into. Well, it is true that the market continues its romance, however erratic and volatile, with the hyper young and hyper new. When you already talked about this a little bit, it is also true that, as Cecilia Lemani's exhibition at the Venice Biennale demonstrates, there's also strong interest to bring into light artists whose artistic careers, due to gender or racial prejudices, went unnoticed in the past, despite the quality and interest of their work. Are you willing, as a gallery, to operate in that direction? Are you willing to unearth sort of past gems or hidden gems?
this was my second beautiful experience in my life. I had the chance when I was 26 to take care and to convince the son of Georges Mathieu to give me the representation and the full exclusivity on the whole stock of half of the estate, because the estate was divided between the widow of Georges Mathieu and the son of Georges Mathieu. And I took care about the son of Georges Mathieu, about Jean-Baptiste. And it was pretty funny because I was really passionate about Georges Mathieu. And when I started to speak about Georges Mathieu to colleagues, to art dealers, to collectors, they were all laughing a lot about me. You are 26 and you will take care of Georges Mathieu, who is like an old guy, nobody buy his work anymore. It's like old-fashioned, everybody's in contemporary art, there is a nonsense on this. Like, nobody will want Georges Mathieu ever again. The market crash. But what they didn't saw is how strong the market of Georges Mathieu was, even when it was a low market. When you see the rates of the bought-in artworks and all the artworks being sold into the secondary market, it's not the point of the prices, it's the point of the attention. So without any dealers, without any representation, without any concern about the art markets, you still had a really beautiful group of collectors who were still buying Georges Mathieu. And when you are seeing about the history and when you are seeing about the background of Georges Mathieu, he's collected by perhaps 120 museums around the world, the best collection of Georges Mathieu, and the history is amazing. So when you are putting an artist like this into the context of now, everybody will see the work is pretty fresh and it's beautiful, hanging against whatever contemporary artist you want to hang with. And I think it's just a matter of perception and a matter of how you're gonna show this kind of work. And we have estates, of course. We just announced a month ago that we took the estate also of Gerard Schneider. Mm-hmm. And it's the first time since Samuel Coutts that a gallery is representing the four masters of the lyrical abstraction: Soulages, Mathieu, Hartung, and Schneider now. So, and we were into Independent Art Fair 20th Century with Dylan a month ago, in the beginning of September, and we brought 19 artworks, and the 19 artworks were sold. A solo show of Schneider.
You're talking about Independent
20th Century in New York. The 19 artworks were sold within 2 days to American collectors who never heard about Gerard Schneider. Because it's fresh, because when you are putting it into a context, everybody see the artworks and not the price, not the auction market, not the whatever. They are just seeing a beautiful artwork. And when you are speaking about the history of the artist, that he were representing the France at the Venice Biennale, at the Sao Paulo Biennale, that he made Documenta in Kassel, that he was collected by the MoMA, that he went like into an Asia tour all around. It's amazing. So it's impossible that an artwork of an artist like this cost 50K when you see clearly that with 50K you cannot buy some primary market artists. So you are buying history, you are buying a part of you are buying really a part of the art history when you are buying artists like this.
And we strongly believe that for estates, and it was all time the same with Georges Mathieu, with Jacquet, and now with Schneider, that it's very difficult for an artist to be on the top. Understand that Georges Mathieu starting painting like late 40, okay, and he passed away 2008. So could you imagine to have a 50, 60 years career? So of course, at some point of your career, you are on the top, and then it goes back, and then it goes up, like that. But this is only a matter of market and market price. It's not because the artist is not a good artist anymore. You understand? It's totally different. So what we explain to people is that what we don't, for example, what the market does not have any intention now, okay, because the market, this market is not like fashion, you know, a movement for that moment. But the artist is still very good. And when you're looking the paintings from the 60s, from the 70s, it was something very strong in terms of art history in this period. And we just open the eyes of people and explain them to
look out,
to look out again with not an eyes of market-wise, but the quality of the painting. And then the market goes back.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. But so which is very important is to look at it not because of the market price at a precise moment, but because of the quality of the painting and because of where he's an art movement or when he's, you know, for example, the post-war movement, abstract post-war movement, post-war, it's strongly...
I know we are late.
Let me stop you there. I mean, I also have many questions left to ask you, but I would like to open the discussion to the floor to see if there's anyone who would like to ask a question to you. Is there a question?
So if there is no question, I would love to finish this for 1 minute.
Yeah, and I would love to ask you both also one question.
Just if you see because we were speaking about the estate, if you see for Hartung, Mathieu, and Schneider will be the same. What all those old-fashioned galleries said and the critic of the art said back in the days, in the 50s, that, for an example, Mathieu or Hartung or even Schneider, you need to buy the artworks from the late 40s up to June 1960. Because after he was like, not an artist anymore. Like anything is not good and it's a nightmare. But now the market is bringing more value to the 80s.
To the late period.
To the late periods. Why? Because it's kind of more fresh. And you see Hartung, the spray painting are going for crazy amount. Georges Mathieu, the biggest auction record for Georges Mathieu was for the 80s. And with Schneider, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same.
It was impossible to understand that 5 years ago. And what we know, and it is very interesting, is for 40 or 50 years, that kind of artist was bought by old collectors. I respect a lot, of course, but old collectors. And,
hopefully.
And now, what we sell from the late period, that this kind of collector does not like, we sell it to millennium collectors, the generation millennium. So they are all between 25 to 45 years old, very young, and they all want the late period and not the paintings from the 50s or from the 60s, which is very interesting. You know, Georges Mathieu would be very glad to know that. Schneider as well, very proud. And the Laurence Schneider, the daughter of Schneider, she's still very amazed about that. She said that my father will be very proud to know that young collectors buy the late period. So it is very interesting to understand that. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Please.
Dylan and Tom. So now, if any questions while our next speakers start to put on their mics.
We speak too much, huh? So sorry. It's too long.
Hello, yes.
That's what you're here for.
Thank you very much for this talk. It was very insightful, very interesting. I was curious because you said you work in collaboration with auction houses, and I wanted to know, is it for sourcing artworks that you are going to buy, or is it, can you please explain more about how you collaborate?
We are doing, thank you for this. We are doing the collaboration in even 3 parts. The first one is buying artworks from them, either in auction houses or in private sales. And also we are doing a new game who's the guarantee and the warranty on the artworks. So when you are like, for an example, they are calling us to say, okay, I have this client who want to put the artwork in auction, but he's not very comfortable of putting an artwork and being afraid the artwork will not sell
in auction.
So we are just saying, okay, so at the low estimate, we are buying this, and whatever it goes up, we're gonna have a share on the profit of the resale of the artworks. So we are also working like this with them. And it's really a new way of buying artworks, because we will only do and only play this game with artworks that we will be proud of buying, first of all. And we will never do this as a matter of money. We will do it because we want to secure the artwork, we want to buy it. If it goes up, we are very happy. We win money without spending a penny. So it's amazing. But if the artwork gets sold, we buy the artwork, and we will be able to exhibit it in the next years. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Tom and Dylan, for all your explanations, and lots of luck.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for listening to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.